Hey yo, you know who it is. It's the Don. Cheer! Tony Teflon. House Teflon. We pull the strings. Cheer! And I'm back at you again. And we running this Melisandre chapter part 2 of this. I don't know if it'll be a part 3. Maybe we can squeeze it all in right now. But before I do, I would like to say thank you to all my new subscribers that I've gotten. Thanks for joining the house and everything else. And I was gonna answer some questions because I was asked a couple of questions and stuff like that. I was gonna do that, but y'all really don't want to hear me answering questions right now. What you want to hear is this chapter. So, without further ado, let's get right back into it.
A fire had burned low, she saw. Devon, more wood. What hour is it? Almost dawn, milady. Dawn, another day is given us. Rilor be praised. The terrors of the night recede. Melisandre had spent the night in her chair by the fire, as she often did. With Stannis gone, her bed saw little use. She had no time for sleep, with the weight of the world upon her shoulders, and she feared to dream. Sleep is a little death, dreams the whisperings of the other, who would drag us all into his eternal night. She would sooner sit bathed in the ruddy glow of her red lord's blessed flames, her cheeks flushed by the wash of heat, as if by a lover's kisses.
I know we did that part, so but I'm gonna say something because I had someone commented on something. But as you can see here again, when she describes herself being in R'hllor's light, it's always like a kiss of a lover, or and going across her skin or anything like that, doing to the fire. And like I said before, that earlier, that Blood Raven exposed her for who she was, and she had to put her glamour back on. Uh, that's what I believe happened there and stuff like that. The discharge that she gave could have been because the glamour was taken off her in such a severe way that that's what happened and stuff like like that's what happened. So um so that's what I believe happened in that spot right there. And um what else could I say? Oh yes. So at one part I did say that when she was talking about Davos, she said that he was misguided. Now I know 100% that it could be, and it's a good chance that it could be that she's talking about Davos being misguided, that he's not a follower of R'hllor. Without a doubt, 100%, it's a possibility. But I think that's pretty simple, and sometimes it's better just to keep things simple, and I do know that. But I think at this point, just the fact that she was talking about the deaths of his other sons while she was following Stannis, then talking about how she's saving this son, that she means that he's misguided by following Stannis. That's the reason why I said that. So we'll get back into this chapter right here.
Some nights she drowsed, but never for more than an hour. One day Melisandre prayed she would not sleep at all. One day she would be free of dreams. Melanie, she thought, lot 7. Devon fed fresh logs to the fire until the flames leapt up again, fierce and furious, driving the shadows back into the corners of the room, devouring all her unwanted dreams. The dark recedes again for a little while.
So when he put the fire in the logs, she said that the flame jumped up again, devouring all her unwanted dreams. So I would have to think that means she must have been dozing off for a little bit, and the dreams are coming back again. That's why she started thinking again of the Melanie thing again, and the logs was able to awaken her, so that she cannot be taken over by Blood Raven, him searching her for information.
But beyond the wall, the enemy grows stronger, and should he win, the dawn will never come again. She wondered if it had been his face that she had seen staring out at her from the flames. No, surely not. His visage would be more frightening than that, cold and black, and too terrible for any man to gaze upon and live. The woodman she had glimpsed, though, And the boy with the wolf's face, they were his servants, surely, his champions, as Stannis was hers. Melisandre went to her window, pushed open the shutters. Outside, the east had just begun to lighten, and the stars of morning still hung in a pitch-black sky. Castle Black was already beginning to stir as men in black cloaks made their way across the yard to break their fast with bowls of porridge before they relieved their brothers atop the wall. A few snowflakes drifted by the open window, floating on the wind. "Does my lady wish to break her fast?" asked Devon. "Food. Yes, I should eat." Some days she forgot. R'hllor provided her with all the nourishment her body needed, but that was something best concealed from mortal men. It was Jon Snow.
All right, so let's talk about that right there. So Devin asked her, obviously it's daybreak, everyone's getting up, they're stirring around. Devin asked her if she wants something to eat. So she's like, oh, well, I guess I should have to eat because I have to keep up this image. So she says that that's best concealed, and the word they use right there is mortal man. That's best concealed from mortal men. The fact that they're saying mortal men and not just men, and they put that mortal in there, would have to see that she is not mortal. All right, so that's why I would have to take that. I can't see it meaning any other way. Why put that in there? Why not just say men or people or peeps, homies, or whatever place you're from? You know what I mean? How you call it and stuff like that, amigos, whatever it is. Why not just say that? You know what I mean? Familia or whatever it is. You know what I'm saying? I say mortal for a reason. That's the key word in that thing.
She needed, not fried bread and bacon. But it was no use sending Devon to the Lord Commander. He would not come to her summons. Snow still chose to dwell behind the armory, in a pair of modest rooms previously occupied by the Watcher's late blacksmith. Perhaps he did not think himself worthy of the King's Tower, or perhaps he did not care. That was his mistake. The false humility of youth that is itself a sort of pride. It was never wise for a ruler to eschew the trappings of power, for power itself flows in no small measure from such trappings. The boy was not entirely naive, however. He knew better than to come to Melisandre's chambers like a supplicant, insisting she come to him instead, should she have need of words with him. And oft as not, when she did come, he would keep her waiting or refuse to see her. That much at least was shrewd. "I will have nettle tea, a boiled egg, and bread with butter. Fresh bread, if you please, not fried. You may find the wilding as well. Tell him that I must speak with him. Rattleshirt, my lady, and quickly." While the boy was gone,
All right. So Melisandre doesn't need to eat. We get that, right? Because she gets blessed by this fire that keeps her life spirit going. So she asked for all this food, but then she specifically asked for fresh bread. So obviously she's asking for fresh bread, not fried. She's telling this kid that she's trying to delay him to take his time, because obviously fresh bread takes a while to make. Why would she care if it's fresh or not? She doesn't need to eat it. So she's just trying to get him out of the room right there for a little bit of time so she can do what she has to do.
Sandra washed herself and changed her robes. Her sleeves were full of hibbits, and she checked them carefully, as she did every morning, to make certain all her powders were in place. Powders to turn fire green or blue or silver. Powders to make a flame roar and hiss and leap up higher than a man is tall. Fear and the thick black smoke that could kill a man outright.
Right.
Melisandre saying that. So obviously she's at the war right now. She has more power than she's ever had. So before this, she would have to use, pyromancer tricks. And not that she didn't have any power before. It's because if you go around and you claim to be, say, a magician or something like that, right? Or even a comedian or a rapper or anything. If you go around, people want to see you
display those skills. You know what I mean? So you have to have something to show to people. Now, she's saying that, like say she's like Jesus Christ walking around and he's saying, God can do all these things. People want to see these miracles happen. My camera paused. Oh, it just started again. All right. So she can't have all these
She can't have all the, she can't just make these things happen because it's not her doing it. She's asking the Lord of Light to do it. And whether he does it or not, it's not up to her. So in order to control people, she has these, to prove to people that the Lord of Light is real, sometimes she has to resort to these tricks that she does so that they believe her. So that's what all these powders are about. And I believe that other people have used these powders, especially that powder of fear. I do believe that was used in Mirror Master's tent. But you have seen these smoke, I mean the smoke of fear and all. You have seen other people use some of these powers during the books already.
The Red Priestess armed herself with a pinch of each of them. The carved chest that she had brought across the narrow sea was more than 3/4 empty now, and while Melisandre had the knowledge to make more powders, she lacked many rare ingredients. My spells should suffice. She was stronger at the wall, stronger even than in Ashai. Her every word and gesture was more potent, and she could do things that she had never done before. Such shadows as I bring forth here will be terrible, and no creature of the dark will stand before them. With such sorceries at her command, she should soon have no more need of the feeble tricks of alchemists and pyromancers.
All right, so right there she's talking about giving up, not having to use that, just like I said, because she's so much more powerful. Then obviously she has been to a shot. She mentions it again, so she has used her powers there. So we know that she has, whether she's really from a shy, we know that she has definitely been there, without a doubt. And her powers are pretty powerful there. But here, even more stronger. So she may not have to use all these tricks and these powers that she would normally have to use.
She shut the chest, turned the lock, and hid the key inside her skirts in another secret pocket. Then came a rapping at her door. Her one-armed sergeant, from the tremulous sound of his knock. Lady Melisandre, the Lord of Bones has come. Send him in. Melisandre settled herself back into the chair beside the hearth. The wildling wore a sleeveless jerkin of boiled leather, dotted with bronze studs, beneath a worn cloak mottled in shades of green and brown. No bones. He was cloaked in shadows too, in wisps of ragged grey mist, half seen, sliding across his face and form with every step he took.
All right, so now we see the Lord of Bones. She enters the room, and right off the bat, Melisandre can see the shadows all around him that is disguising him. And as they're describing the shadows moving around him, remember I said when she got transformed how it hurts her and how it's painful and stuff like that, and the heat is and stuff like that, and everything that she has to pay a price. So remember that when I said that when they play this next line. So we know this guy is glamored. So if you look at before with her getting her glamour removed, now take it from this guy that we know is glamour, and then that's how you can connect those two.
Ugly things, as ugly as his bones. A widow's peak, close-set dark eyes, pinched cheeks, a moustache wriggling like a worm above a mouthful of broken, brown teeth. Melisandre felt the warmth in the hollow of her throat as her ruby stirred at the closeness of its slave.
Let me stop right there real quick. Now, so a lot of people think that she is able to control Mance Rayder because of this ruby, but when they say slave right then, they're saying slave because of her ruby to that ruby is that ruby slave. You know what I mean? Kind of like when you're slaving, I guess, systems together. Like if you have a SP1200 and you're hooking it up to a keyboard or something like that, or you know what I mean, and slaving those things so it runs it through it. That's what I believe the slave means, not actual slave that she controls this dude. Because if she did control him, then the next scene that happens would never happen. But as you can see, the closer she gets, she feels the fire already in her from that glamour. She can already feel the pain from it.
foot aside your suit of bones, she observed. The clacking was like to drive me mad. The bones protect you, she reminded him. The Black Brothers do not love you. Devon tells me that only yesterday you had words with some of them over supper. A few? I was eating bean and bacon soup whilst Bowen Marsh was going on about the high ground. The old pomegranate told that I was spying on him and announced that he would not suffer murderers listening to their counsel. I told them that if that was true, maybe they shouldn't have them by the fire. Bowen turned red and made some choking sounds, but that was as far as it went. The wildling sat on the edge of the window, slid his dagger from his sheath. If some crow wants to slip a knife between my ribs whilst I'm spooning up some supper, he's welcome to try. Hob's gruel would taste better with a drop of blood to spice it. Melisandre paid the naked steel no mind. If the wildling had meant her harm, she would have seen it in her flames. Danger to her own person was the first thing she had learned to see. Back when she was still half a child, a slave girl bound for life to the Great Red Temple. It was still the first thing she looked for whenever she gazed into a fire. It is their eyes that should concern you, not their knives, she warned him. The glamour eye. In the black iron fetter about his wrist, the ruby seemed to pulse. He tapped it with the edge of his blade. The steel made a faint click against the stone. I feel it when I sleep, warm against my skin, even through the iron, soft as a woman's kiss, your kiss. But sometimes in my dreams it starts to burn, and your lips turn into teeth.
All right, so I'm gonna give you that right there. So he's telling her right there that the glamour, right, that she puts on him, that she put on him, feels like a woman's kiss, right, soft and warm, just like it said, not exact words, but the same meaning that it said earlier when her glamour is removed. Then he says, sometimes when I sleep, it starts to burn, right? So we know what happens when you sleep. People get into your mind, right? Who does? Blood raping. And he's saying it starts to burn when I'm sleeping. So something's going down. Someone's trying to get information out of Mance while he's sleeping. So if you didn't catch it, maybe I could just back it up a little bit. It's a little too much. And we'll do it again.
Stop spooning up some supper. He's welcome to try. Hob's gruel would taste better with a drop of blood to spice it. Melisandre paid the naked steel no mind. If the wildling had meant her harm, she would have seen it in her flames. Danger to her own person was the first thing she had learned to see. Back when she was still half a child, a slave girl bound for life to the Great Red Temple. It was still the first thing she looked for whenever she gazed into a fire. It is their eyes that should concern you, not their knives, she warned him. The glamour eye. In the black iron fetter about his wrist, the ruby seemed to pulse. He tapped it with the edge of his blade. The steel made a faint click against the stone. I feel it when I sleep, warm against my skin, even through the iron, soft as a woman's kiss, your kiss. But sometimes in my dreams it starts to burn, and your lips turn into teeth. Every day I think how easy it would be to pry it out, and every day I don't. Must I wear the bloody bones as well? The spell is made of shadow and suggestion. Men see what they expect to see. The bones are part of that. Was I wrong to spare this one? If the glamour fails, they will kill you. The wildling began to scrape the dirt out beneath his nails with the point of his dagger. I've sung my songs, fought my battles, drunk summer wine, tasted the Dornishman's wife. A man should die the way he's lived.
All right, so real quick right there. Him saying that is, if you wouldn't doing the first read, that would be your clue that that was Mance, and right there with the Stonerman's wife, and done on Sung My Songs and everything else that you hear in that particular time. Also, it's like I said, obviously he wants to take it out. He says he should, but he doesn't. He doesn't want to die. You know what I mean? He knows that it'll expose him for who he is, and he doesn't want to be exposed. He still wants to live because they'll kill him. And just like I said, it's not really controlling him, because if it was controlling him, then she wouldn't have to look in her flames for him hurting her, or even have to be concerned about it, though she's not concerned. And the reason why she's not concerned is because she would have seen it in the flames, not because that stone ruby in his hand is controlling him in any way.
Me, that steel in hand. Does he dream of death? Could the enemy have touched him? Death is his domain. The dead, his soldiers. You shall have work for your steel soon enough. The enemy is moving, the true enemy, and Lord Snow's Rangers will return before the day is done, with their blind and bloody eyes. The wildling's own eyes narrowed. Grey eyes, brown eyes. Melisandre could see the color change with each pulse of the ruby. Cutting out the eyes, that's a weeper's work. The best crow's a blind crow, he likes to say. Sometimes I think he'd like to cut out his own eyes, the way they're always watering and itching. Snow's been assuming the free folk would turn to Tormund to lead them, because that's what he would do. He liked Tormund, and the old fraud liked him too. If it's the Weeper, though, oh, that's not good. No, not for him. Not for us. Melisandre nodded solemnly, as if she had taken his words to heart. But this Weeper did not matter. None of his free folk mattered. They were a lost people, a doomed people.
All right. So right then, you see that Melisandre suspects, has he been touched by the enemy, right? You know why she suspects it? Because it happened to her. That's why she suspects it happening to him, because she's saying it happened in his sleep. It had just happened to her. So she's like, did this, what just happened to me, happen to him? It's the same thing going down. And then obviously you could see, when you see her talking and out of her perspective, she could obviously see the glamours going around. Other people couldn't see that, but she can see it because she knows, because she put it there, obviously.
Destined to vanish from the earth, as the children of the forest had vanished. Those were not words he would wish to hear, though, and she could not risk losing him, not now. How well do you know the North? He slipped his blade away. As well as any raider. Some parts more than others. There's a lot of North. Why? The girl, she said. A girl in grey on a dying horse. Jon Snow's sister. Who else could it be? She was racing to him for protection. That much Melisandre had seen clearly. I have seen her in my flames, but only once. We must win the Lord Commander's trust, and the only way to do that is to save her. Me save her, you mean? The Lord of Bones? No one ever trusted Rattleshirt but fools. Snow's not that. If his sister needs saving, he'll send his crows. I would. He is not you. He made his vows and means to live by them. The Night's Watch takes no part. But you are not Night's Watch. You can do what he cannot. If your stiff-necked Lord Commander will allow it. Did your fires show you where to find this girl? I saw water, deep and blue and still, with a thin coat of ice just forming on it. It seemed to go on and on forever. Long lake. What else did you see around this girl? Hills, fields, trees, a deer once, stones. She is staying well away from villages. When she can, She rides along the bed of little streams to throw hunters off her trail. He frowned. That will make it difficult. She was coming north, you said. Was the lake to her east or to her west? Melisandre closed her eyes, remembering. West. She is not coming up the King's Road, then. Clever girl. There were fewer watchers on the other side and more cover, and some hidey holes I could have used myself from time. He broke off at the sound of a war horn and rose swiftly to his feet. All over Castle Black, Melisandre knew. The same sudden hush had fallen, and every man and boy turned toward the wall, listening, waiting. One long blast of the horn meant rangers returning. But two, the day has come, the Red Priestess thought. Lord Snow will have to listen to me now.
Alright, so we basically right there have her searching for this person that she believes is Arya Stark. We know it's not. Alright, she only seen this person once. She gives the direction to this guy. He basically has to Rattleshirt, he basically has some idea of where she would be around and stuff like that. Oh, I said it. I really try not to. I don't know why. Whatever. Anyway, so I'm probably gonna wrap it right there. It's about 30 minutes. That's 24:11 into it. It's like I said, it's a 41-minute chapter. So we are halfway there through it and stuff through it, and I hope that I have shed a little bit more light if I could. Not really too much happened there, but basically I guess the most you could take from what's going on there is the glamour on Mance that is Rattleshirt, and the fact that it basically cements, or to me it cements the fact that that Blood Raven exposed her for who she was, because you see the glamours, they talk about him getting inside the dreams, they talk about the dreams being the how the great other gets at you. We know Blood Raven's the person that goes in the dream. Not only did it happen to her, but it happens again to Rattleshirt so this guy's searching his mind for information, searching her mind for information and stuff like that, and trying to come through in dream form to them. And that's basically where we'll leave it off right there. And we'll come back. I guess we'll have to do a part 3 on it and stuff like that. I said it again. I gotta try not to really anyway, besides the point, I'm not even gonna try anymore. I'm just gonna do what I do, and that's it. So I had a very nice question. Someone asked me, some young lady, and my lady subscribers are going up, which is always a great thing. I think I'm like 35%, which is phenomenal. And she asked me, she said it was a very nice person. This person asked me if I was single and stuff like if I was single. Yes, at this particular time I am single. It's very hard, and the reason why would be is I actually lost a chick because of doing these videos and stuff, and she did not like me doing it and stuff. But I don't care. I gotta do what I gotta do. You know what I mean? And in all honesty, out of all of the shit that goes on in my life and the things that go up and down, and this is something that I do that truly makes me happy. So I think if it makes you happy, you should do it. And this truly makes me happy to sit here and listen to this, because I listen to it anyway. And the fact that other people like it and listen to it, that's something that it brings joy, smile to my face, seeing any comment or anything that someone big up it and puts a thumbs up, finds it, and ones that just really makes my day. It really does. I get excited, and the more views I get really excited. I have to come back. I feel like I can't let nobody down. I have to come back and shoot another video. So this is an HD, because people ask for HD, so you got the HD. And it's like, and it's going back to the girls. Yeah, and the girls out here where I'm at, I'm in a very segregated type of place. Like, I live in like the white area, and there's like, a little town of Spanish people, Puerto Rican chicks, and there's a little town of black people, and then I'm not too far from Albany. So I'm like right in the middle of Saratoga, Albany, Utica, and Cooperstown. I'm like right there. It's like 30 miles for me to get to any of those spots. You know what I mean? So that's why I'm here, because I can go anywhere, and I do go anywhere. So I go to the races in Saratoga when they come, and I go to Boxing Hall of Fame, go to Cooperstown, do all that stuff. You know, I go to out to Utica, go to Turning Stone Casino, do things like that. I go, you know, that's just what I do and stuff like. And it's just so a lot of these women have. I'm a black man, and you know, you gotta have, you know, the booty's gotta be bang. You know what I mean? For me to even consider it, and to find a chick that likes Game of Thrones and with a dang dunk holding like that is very hard. I get like girls all the time with huge boobs. I'm like the big boob whisperer. Like I can't, too many of them, and I can't keep them off. And that's not what I'm into. I'm just into the booty because I am black, and that's how I get down. So anyway, sorry to diverse. That's just, but diverse. But that was a kind of a question that was asked to me, and I just felt like answering it right there. So thank you for anyone who is new and subscribe. I really do appreciate it. Please tell your friends, put this on your Twitter, thumbs up it. You know, the more thumbs up I get, the more excited I get, the quicker the videos go up and stuff like. And and that's the way it goes down. All right, no drinking game with that no more. So I'm gonna be out, and I'm gonna try to upload this tonight and possibly have it up. I don't know, maybe tomorrow. Maybe I'll let the other one marinate a little bit and then drop it, because I just put that up yesterday, and I'm doing this the day after. So whenever it comes up, I have to let it marinate the other one a little bit and then put this one up there. So, as always, it's the Don, Tony Teflon, House Teflon, Teflon 316. We pull the strings. Peace. And I'm out. Oh, before I go, yes, people have asked me if I did a song on iTunes before called Hit Me on the Phone. Yes, that was me that did that phone song. I did the Downward Juice. I used to do rap music and stuff like that. Oh, I said that word. I used to do rap music back in the day. I may have to talk about that stuff later and in another video and all that. But yeah, I did dabble in that, and I was pretty good at it, if I do say so myself. So peace out from the People's Champ, the chairman of the board, and the sexiest woman who ever lived. Peace.